What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us for this special mini-series of the podcast where I'm checking in with different businesses to see how they're handling our new reality. And today I'm joined by one of my very best friends, Katie Stanley. Katie is a longtime member of the performing arts community in Norfolk, Virginia, and currently a group sales manager for a local nonprofit. And fun fact, I lived in Virginia for 4 years, and that's how Katie and I met. Welcome to the podcast, Katie.
Hi, Miranda. Thanks for having me.
Woohoo! We're finally working together again.
Yes.
So first of all, cheers to your coffee and my coffee.
Cheers.
Okay, now let's just dive right in. So I know that the performing arts community has been particularly hard hit during this time with shows and performances being canceled. I've also watched them get increasingly more creative for how they can still reach their communities. So what's the biggest shift you've seen or had to make in your role right now?
Well, our whole premise is putting together performances for live audiences. And it just so happens that the particular nonprofit that I work for was established to create programming in April and May between the holidays and the summer seasons in coastal Virginia. So we've been hit particularly hard in that we have 50 plus performances condensed into March through May, all of which have had to be either canceled or postponed.
Oh my gosh.
So the biggest shift has been our core competency is to create performances, and we're being told that the best thing we can do for our community right now is not create performances. So that's been really difficult.
So you essentially lost your 2020 season, right?
We did. We were able to reschedule a pretty sizable percentage of the performances, but they're all going to be happening in 2021. We bring in performers from all over the world. So these folks have, we book them 18 months, 2 years in advance. So it isn't as easy as calling and saying, hey, can you come next month or can you come in 2 months? Because things hopefully will be cleared up by then. So it's been a huge shift in terms of what we do.
So how are you guys addressing this shift?
Well, at the core of our sales, particularly in group sales, which is what I'm responsible for, is relationships with our clients. Mm-hmm. So the majority of who I work with are tour group operators who bring motor coach groups in from out of town for our different performances. And those groups can be seniors, they can be children, they can be corporate groups. So having one-on-one conversations with those tour group leaders, because you figure they're canceling what they're doing with us, but they're also canceling what they're doing with everyone. No one's getting on a motor coach right now. Right. No one across the country. So checking in with them, seeing how they're doing, talking with them, and just letting them know that we're here and that we care about them as people and as organizations has been the majority of what we're doing with our time right now.
And how is your community responding to all of this?
Well, our community has been amazing, and the organization for which I work has been in business. We're going into our 25th season. We have been met with unbelievable support from our donors, from our funders, from our ticket buyers. We've reached out to ticket buyers individually and group ticket buyers and given them the option to roll their ticket, the cost of their tickets, into donations to the festival in the event that that the performance they bought tickets for was canceled. Mm-hmm. And we've had a huge percentage of ticket buyers elect to do that. So the silver lining is we don't have ticket buyers this year, but we have seen a huge uptick in the number of donors for the organization. And so it's been amazing to watch the way the community has wrapped around what we do and shown their support. And then on the corporate side, some of our larger funders have elected to just let us keep their donation this year or their sponsorship money or roll it over to the next season. So we're finding that a lot of our funders are sticking with us through this, which is amazing because everyone's hurting.
Yeah, everyone's hurting. And I think it is nice to see those that can continue supporting these organizations. And how are those conversations with the corporate funders? Like, is that something they elected to do on their own, or was it an ask?
Well, we've been proactive in terms of reaching out to them. We have a corporate relations manager whose full-time job is stewarding those relationships with all of our corporate funders. And so he's been on the front lines talking with them and letting them know what's going on with our season, letting them know what has been able to be rescheduled, what has been postponed or canceled to a different season. And again, it boils down to those relationships and picking up the phone, or getting on a Zoom call and letting people see your face, letting them know you're still here, that there is going to be another season,
right?
And just laying the foundation for the hope for this next season of performances.
Absolutely. And I will say this is the 11th one of these that I've done, and the two things that keep coming up again are trust and community. And as businesses and business owners, we work so hard to build that trust with our communities. And now I think we're seeing like what that actually means to a lot of people. In a lot of ways, you can show support in many other ways than like contributing financially, if that's not an option right now. So I think it's really cool to see how your community is coming together. But let's shift gears for a second. How are you taking care of yourself right now?
Oh, I'm doing well. I actually personally I just moved into a new place. A little bit of a work in progress behind me. So I've had to set a really strict schedule for myself in terms of when I wake up, what I do every morning, my morning regimen. I have a dog, which helps. So I'm always out of bed at a certain time. I'm always feeding him, walking him first thing in the morning. But yeah, just making sure that I don't get distracted and start working on projects around the house while I'm supposed to be making phone calls to people has been really important. Making sure I stay with my workouts,
right.
Going outside when I can, getting fresh air, keeping in touch with friends and also colleagues. We've done a lot of happy hours with some of our industry partners. So I work really closely with convention and visitors bureaus, like the tourism boards for the different cities in which we produce shows. So we've done a lot of Zoom happy hours and things like that, just to be able to see people's faces and hear their laughs, I think is really important in terms of not feeling like you're completely isolated.
Right, to keep the connection. And I think too, I've found it easier to join some of these virtual things that I may not have joined in person, just because it's sometimes easier to do it from your home without having to like get ready and get out of the house or commute somewhere. And so I think in a lot of ways, some of us are getting more involved. It just depends on the day, really, because there are days I don't want to see anyone either. So
oh, absolutely. Yeah, I joke about how I haven't been late in 3 weeks.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm always on time now.
It's great. And you're not having to reschedule as much. It's like, except for if you have internet issues, and then that can be like I did today. But so lastly, how can we support you and how can we support the performing arts community right now?
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. Well, as you said earlier, there are a lot of performing arts communities out there and organizations who are doing really cool, innovative virtual performances. So looking those up online and following them, liking them, sharing them, I think is a great way just to keep hope alive that all of these performing arts organizations are going to persevere through this time.
Yeah.
We have created a Spotify playlist for our organization that includes a lot of the different performers. And we do everything from jazz to world music to ballet to classical chamber music. And so just seeking those things out online and then and just continuing to tell the story, because it's really important work that people in the performing arts community does, I think. And then, of course, if you're able to donate monetarily, $10 towards your favorite nonprofit, especially the small local ones, whether they're ballet or theater or movie theater. I mean, whatever it is, just continuing to support however you can.
I think just along what you were saying, like financially and then sharing those performances, I was just going to add that I think these performances are great educational tools for children too. And if you're a busy mom at home or need something to like entertain your kids for a little bit, showing them a ballet or something different outside of the norm can really inspire them. I know we did that with Rebel, and then she wears these pink ballet shoes everywhere now, and she's like trying to jump like a ballerina.
Nice.
So Yeah, I mean, it's just cool to see, where kids can pick up that inspiration and just exposure to different things. Like you probably wouldn't take a 4.5-year-old to a ballet, but now she can experience it in our living room and do all the moves herself. So thank you for sharing your perspective today and for joining me for coffee. I really appreciate it.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me. It's been so much fun.